As climate change and global warming wreak havoc around the world, one of the coldest countries is now bearing the brunt of it. The Russian capital is currently undergoing its worst heat wave in over a century. Moscow is melting under 34.7 degrees Celsius. The temperatures have reached a 120-year record. The weather agencies have been saying that the above 35 degrees temperatures being recorded in these 2 days match with the year 1901. Russia's second biggest city, St. Petersburg, also witnessed temperatures close to 34 degrees Celsius. This is the highest temperature recorded in the city since 1998. While some citizens are not ready to face the sweltering weather, others are taking the rise in temperature as a respite from the rising cold in Russia. As global temperatures rise with climate change, heat waves are predicted to become more frequent and intense, and their impact more widespread. The rising mercury levels have contributed to devastating floods and forest fires that have affected Siberia. They are also contributing to the melting of permafrost, which covers about 2/3 of Russia's large territory. And with us is our correspondent Julia Chapman, joining us from Moscow for more on this. Get us a better sense of the mood on the ground, Julia, and what the weather agencies have been saying and the predictions for the next few days.
Well, the predictions are that the temperature is going to rise even more here in Moscow, Russia's capital, which is, as you say, experiencing a record heat wave. Temperatures recorded on Monday in the capital were the highest in 120 years. Those are expected to go up tomorrow and on Friday. But of course, Russians have very short summers. They're used to very long, arduous winters. So most people here are really enjoying the heat. And of course, it's a break from the very difficult winters that they frequently have to suffer from. But of course, there are consequences as well to these very high temperatures. The Russian health authorities have had to make recommendations about shortening the workday for any workplace that is suffering from the heat. Anywhere that it gets close to 28 degrees Celsius has to shorten the workday by an hour, and that of course has to be shortened even further if the temperature goes up even more. And as we're expecting the temperature outside to go up to 36 degrees tomorrow, there will certainly be a lot of workplaces that are inadequately equipped to deal with temperatures this high. Many of them don't have air conditioning, so it's certainly a very difficult period as well, but many Muscovites really enjoying the heat after a very long and difficult winter.
Right. Julia, let's give our viewers a better sense also of why this is such a big deal, because Russia has always been regarded as one of the coldest parts of the world. And seeing this unprecedented heat wave is yet another reminder of climate change and global warming and their impact.
It certainly is. Of course, Russia has many different climates. It's a big, big country, the world's largest. And they would certainly in Moscow usually be relatively hot summers, not quite this hot usually. But we are seeing the implications of climate change not only here in Moscow, but across Russia. At the moment in Siberia, officials are dealing with enormous forest fires covering some 55,000 hectares of land at the moment. They're struggling to get them under control. This is becoming an annual phenomenon now over the last few years, with large swathes of Siberia, one of the coldest parts of the world, experiencing enormously high temperatures and forest fires as a consequence of that. That's, of course, they still do have summers in Siberia. It's a very large territory itself, and in southern Siberia it does get very hot in the summer, but we are seeing record-breaking temperatures across that part of Russia as well. In Yakutia, which is home to the world's coldest inhabited city, where temperatures in the winter regularly go down to -60. The air temperature is well above 30 at the moment. So certainly consequences of climate change, which Russian weather authorities have acknowledged being the link to these record temperatures. And Russia has been criticized for failing to take climate change seriously in the past. Its government has certainly been making much more of an effort in the last couple of years, signing up to the Paris Climate Agreement in 2019. President Vladimir Putin spoke about the urgency of the climate change problem in his annual speech earlier this year. But Russia's climate change targets have been criticized for being unambitious. Russia says that it's trying to get its emissions down by 30% by 2030 compared to 1990 levels. But of course, in 1990, the country was undergoing the collapse of the Soviet Union and a really slow moment for industrial output. So it's not very difficult to bring those levels down from that point.
Julia Chapman, appreciate very much for joining us with those details and inputs.